Beautiful Thailand. This video was actually shot in Koh Samui, Thailand. Incredible little island out there. Highly recommend you guys get out there and check it out. Amazing country, amazing people, amazing food. But anyways, more importantly, today we are talking about SEO, PBN Vendors, and how to link build, how to scale with PBNs, and some other cool stuff. It's all coming up in this week's episode of Dynamik.
It's Dynamik 365 with Dino Gomez.
Alright guys, so we're over here at this awesome whiteboard, and today we're going to go through, like we said in that cool intro, PBN scaling, PBN management, couple different vendors and sources for you guys. So let's jump into it. Alright, so when it comes to building PBN links or having PBN access, you have a couple options. Option number one is you can build yourself. Let me write this down. Option number one is you can build your own PBN. Okay. This requires a ton of work. Alright, it requires going through a ton of different steps to make sure your PBN is safe. You need to have a contact us page, an about us page, a privacy page. You need to install plugins to make sure that bots can't see your links. You need to have a unique theme, unique plugins. You need to have unique hosts. You need to, if you're building out a PBN network, you need to register each PBN with a unique registrar. You need to have unique hosting. You need to keep up with dates and times of when registrars expires, when hosting expires. You need to change the whois information. There's a million things you have to do with building your own PBN from scratch. It makes scaling your business difficult. I'm not a fan of building my own PBN from scratch. I think doing it once so you can you understand what's necessary for a good and safe PBN is a good idea, but I don't like that practice as far as scaling my business. All right, so let's look at some other options you have. Option number two is you can, lost my pen there, you can outsource the building of a PBN. Okay, I like this option a lot more because there's people and there's individuals that specialize and have a team that specializes in building PBNs. They know how to build safe PBNs. They install different plugins for you. They install different themes for you. They have different registrars. They have different hosts. They do everything to make sure it's safe. They design unique logos for you. They add a contact page, a privacy page, an about us page. They make it look sharp. They specialize in doing that, so they can do it very affordably. And if you know what your time is worth, a lot of times it makes sense to actually go ahead and outsource the building of a PBN. So where can you do that? Well, you can do that at source markets. All right, so we know a source market exists. We know there's good and bad on source market. How do you find a great PBN setup vendor for you? Okay, well, there's a couple things you look for. The first thing I normally look for is I want to see demos. All right, and I want to make sure that the PBNs they deliver to me match what they have in the demo. So this seller here, Semjar, he's showing you a couple. He's giving you a couple demos of what your finished PBN is going to look like. All right, so let's have a look at the quality of this here. Okay, so custom design logo, about us, terms and privacy, contact us page. He's got plugins and social shares. It looks very clean. They add custom images to it, custom widgets on the sidebar. You know, you can go back and you want to make sure first that this would pass manual review. It looks sharp. Okay, that's good. But you can also read what they include. So this guy's including a unique logo and header, handwritten articles, so it's going to come with content, real pages that represent a real site, copyright images, that's a big one, unique themes, unique plugins, anti-SEO spider-bot plugin. You include some social shares, a refund policy, that's also huge. Take a look at reviews, take a look at turnaround time. This would make a lot more sense that to have this guy set it up. Now you have to make sure you read what is included carefully in the gig description. This guy's saying it's a PBN setup. I don't see anything in here about domain registration, expired domain registration. So make sure you understand if you're getting the full built PBN or if this is just the setup. If you buy expired domains, this is a great gig to have this guy actually go ahead and set it up for you for 50 bucks. I think that's a hell of a deal. So I like to go ahead and outsource the PBN building. I think that's a better model for scaling your business. Now, a couple things. There's a couple sellers that go ahead and get you the expired domain, that might be in the upsell of this gig. If they go ahead and get you the expired domain and build the whole thing out for you with hosting, a lot of these sellers also offer a free year of hosting. I always like to immediately take that hosting, and I will make sure that they mention that I can transfer the hosting into my accounts. I don't like having them be responsible for hosting it. I have no idea what their safety precautions are as far as hosting, how many sites they have, what host providers they're using. If because it's hard to keep track of, and just remember, not everybody is super organized. And if this guy's getting hundreds and hundreds of sales, I don't know how he's going to organize all of that unless he's very systemized. I'm not inside his business, so I like to make sure that I'm hosting it. And so make sure you can transfer hosting over to your own account and be responsible for the upkeep of hosting. All right, so make sure you take a look at that and consider that. But I do and am a fan of having outsourcing the actual build of PBNs. I can't say that I've used this guy, but I just wanted to show you guys an example of what to look for when you're actually going to go ahead and outsource the building of a PBN. Now, let's talk about for a second Source Market, because we're over here, we're talking about Source Market for a second. So also on Source Market, you know that you can buy one-off PBN links. Okay, we've all heard of that. We're all familiar with that. Let's talk about how to find a great PBN vendor that's selling you one-off PBN links and how to use them, what to use them for. So a couple things I do and don't like if we're talking about buying one-off PBN links. All right, I don't like the 24-hour delivery. There's a couple of reasons for that. If this guy has a queue of 46 pending orders and he guarantees delivery within 24 hours, I don't know how the hell he's going to deliver 46 orders in 24 hours and not have multiple links going live on the same PBN in a niche PBN network. That seems a little bit fishy to me. I mean, unless he has a massive operation, I don't think the article quality is going to be there. I think it's going to potentially leave footprints if 5 articles are going live to 5 affiliate sites on the same PBN on the same network within 24 hours. I just don't think the quality is going to be there for something like that. Now, with that said, you can buy, and I do like to buy one-off PBN links as tier 2 links. Okay, they're great because I don't want a residual fee going into a tier 2 link, so I will buy one-off PBN links. The quality is not as important at that point. And what can you do with one-off PBN links when we're talking about tier 2s? You can do a couple things. And first off, yes, this is Jay-Z, and he does support Dynamik 365. That is 100% real. I guarantee it. Obviously not. And then another thing here, this is zip lining in Haiti. It's the world's largest zip line. I will make it to the zip line. You guys should too. It looks incredible. There's also amazing GoPro footage on YouTube of that point of view. We'll try and get some of that as well. But with one-off links from Source Market, this is what you can do. So in this sophisticated diagram we have here, your money site is up here. These P's represent PBNs. Okay, so PBN links are going to your money site. These S's represent tier 2 Source Market one-off 1 PBN link gigs. You can then take your Source Market one-off PBN links, maybe they're $8, maybe they're $10, $15, and you can send them to your quality PBNs to keep these PBNs super powerful. I don't always recommend this, the one-off, have no idea how good or legitimate Source Market PBN links are to your money site. I have built Source Market one-off PBN gigs and sent them to a money site. I do, in that case, buy a gig first and check the quality of these links from a particular vendor before I would actually ever go ahead and buy them and trust them to point them at a money site. I would also want to make sure they are niche specific. And I also would not want that 24-hour delivery with 46 orders pending that same day. All right, but Source Market PBN links to your legitimate PBNs. I do like that strategy. I also like Source Market one-off PBN links to level up. We'll call it level up Super Mario. Level up your citations or other types of social properties. And now that there's been some debate about how much sense it would make if you had PBN links going to tier 2 links, or I'm sorry, to social properties. Okay, so I've heard people say, okay, what's the likeliness that your Facebook page is going to receive a bunch of link juice from authority sites? I would say the likeliness is fairly high, and here is why. You get legitimate sites like this one here. It's a magazine site. It's reviewing a bunch of different restaurants and stuff, and they write reviews on restaurants and on local businesses and so forth. And one of the things they do when they write reviews is they link over to the website. It's almost like a directory or citation source. But look, they also link to the Facebook and to the Twitter and to the Yelp and the Instagram and so forth. These are all legitimate links that are powering up your Facebook and your Twitter and so forth. Now, because this is like a city restaurant week, it's a powerful site. They're only talking about the big activities and events that are going on in this city. These are good, powerful links that are going to social properties, and therefore it would make sense that you would also send PBN links to your clients or otherwise your social properties, because they do in fact receive social properties do in fact receive natural links from authoritative sites. You'll also see in articles, Entrepreneur or Forbes or whatever it is, sometimes when they're reviewing a business, or particularly the entrepreneur or the business owner, they will also link to that company's Facebook and so forth. All right, so it does make sense. Just watch your anchor text again, because it's tier 2. It's not super important, your anchor text, but to play it safe, I would say in anchor text, follow us on Facebook. Check out our millions of fans on Facebook. But I do like also sending source market one-off gigs to social properties and empowering those up a little bit. So let's go past all this cool stuff here and continue on. So option number 2 is you outsource your PBN. Now, once you have the PBN delivered to you and it's fully built, the first thing I like to do, and it's a great practice here, is these gigs that come with a couple articles already in them, I immediately drop links. And like this vendor, for example, that we were at on Source Market that was setting up your PBN for you, he had a 14-day refund period. Okay, so boom, he delivers the PBN. I immediately build some links within that PBN, and I send them to a random site in my niche. And I'm monitoring the rankings, and I want to see if the PBN's good, if the links actually increase the rankings of the random site I choose. So I might choose a site on page 3. I'll send naked URL links to it to see if it's going to move up in rankings. I don't send anchor text links when I'm testing, because I don't know their anchor text ratio. I don't want to spend time looking at their anchor text ratio, and therefore, because I don't know if anchor text would send them over the top, I send a naked URL link, and I do that for 2 different random sites, and I see if both those rankings move up for those 2 random sites. If they do, it's a good PBN, and you don't need to request a refund, and you're good to go. So I do like outsourcing the build of a PBN, because I think it's a great way to scale. All right, so third option you have, and actually I almost forgot here. So outsourcing PBNs. I'm sorry, your PBNs delivered to you. Remember, I like to host my PBNs myself. So they deliver the PBN to you, and you want to switch it over to one of your host providers so that you can keep track of hosting and also the domain registration. You're going to want to have the registrar information. You're going to want to have that in your accounts. If you have just a couple PBNs, it's very easy to set up hosting and transfer that over and not be a big deal. If you're talking about a network and how to keep track and manage a network, one of the things I've recently been using is Easy Blog Networks. All right, so you guys may or may not have heard of them, but these guys are really awesome. Basically what they have is they will allow you to transfer for free your PBN hosting and management over to them, and all of a sudden you're going to have one login to manage your PBN network. They host your PBNs on different ABC IP blocks and through a bunch of different big hosting providers, so that you're in the mix with thousands, if not millions, of sites immediately. This is a network that is recommended by a lot of other SEO experts. Let me show you what it looks like when you're on the inside of Easy Blog Network. So they give you a nice 7-day trial. When you log into Easy Blog Networks, here's what you can do. You can have a free import, so you can actually transfer your blogs and your PBNs for free from other hosting providers over to Easy Blog Networks. That's nice. But you go ahead, you choose one of your blog domains here. You can choose the network, and the network is basically a niche of PBN sites. So if you have multiple niches of PBNs, it helps you keep track of your PBN networks. There you give your blog a title and a tagline, and this is how you randomize the protection of your PBN. You can choose your theme, if you allow comments and so forth. I always say, they ask if you want to clean up the hello world content. I always say yes. And this is if you're building a brand new PBN for the first time within Easy Blog Networks. If you transfer over your current existing PBNs, you don't need to do any of this because they're going to keep it as is. If you buy expired domains and want to build out brand new PBNs using Easy Blog Networks, this is how you can set up a PBN rather quickly. Is they will install a random theme for you, clean up the content. You can have blank about, contact, and privacy pages added. I do like to remove theme footer links for the majority of my PBNs. If I have a rather large network, every 5 sites I will keep the theme footer link in for randomness. And then you can decide which plugins you want them to install on that particular PBN. I like to mix and match. Always like to include some type of spider block, but mix and match the plugins that are added to your PBN, again, to keep it randomized. But this is a great resource, Easy Blog Networks. I would recommend this if your PBN is smaller than, let's just say, 20 total sites. Again, I'm just transferring over to these guys for part of my network, and so but they seem very awesome. They're used by a lot of different SEOs. Everything they say as far as safety checks out, because I'm a guy that likes to differentiate and have everything be rather safe. I would never transfer my entire network over here, although everything they're doing seems 100% safe. I think transferring a good portion of it over here, or again, if you're just starting, this seems very, very safe and an easy way to manage a PBN network, have all your hosting in one spot, have one login, and easily set it up to save time and money. So Easy Blog Networks, they're cool. Okay, so third option, if you don't outsource the build of a PBN and you just want to keep everything hands off as far as your actual management and ownership, is to buy PBN links. So buy whiteboard trouble. PBNs. Alright, so let's talk about vendors here for a second. There's a ton of vendors out there when you're buying PBN links. The go-to guy, company, business, number one, and that was a mess up. Number one, you guys have all heard this, you guys should all know this, is Matt Diggity. You guys know that. If you're new and you haven't heard of Diggity yet, you will hear plenty about him. But diggitymarketing.com, head on over here, click on Diggity links, and this guy has, Mr. Matt, really cool dude. He has the best, most powerful, the safest PBN links. They go through a ton of checks to make sure that their PBNs are safe. They have great system in place. They get back to you quickly. They have niche PBN links. They're also affordable. You guys all know Matt Diggity. Credible PBN links. He is the number one go-to guy when you're going to buy PBN links. I've bought and continue to buy plenty of links from Matt, so highly recommend that. Does a ton of testing. So besides that, make sure you guys check out his blog, because he's always releasing ridiculous insight on what's going on in the industry. So Mr. Matt Diggity, number one. The other one I'm liking is Catapultz. So I found, this is run by a guy named Robin Oy. I found Catapultz through Ranking Rabbit, which is James Upjohn's community. Robin has a great PBN service as well. Let me, that's not it. That's not it. Here it is. His site, SEO Fastlane, he does PBN link building, or where you can go ahead and buy PBN links from him as well. But basically, links are $3.33 per link. He puts 3 links on each blog post that you order, so you get 3 per blog post basically, and it comes out to $3.33 per link. But I've tried robbing out a little bit, and his links have been doing good stuff for me. They're also niched up as well. So those are the 2 PBN vendors I would recommend. There's a bunch other in the industry. I'm sure they also have incredible stuff. These are the 2 that I've been using. And again, Matt Diggity has the go-to, safest, best, most powerful links. Robin at Catapultz has also been delivering some good stuff for me as well. And that's it, guys. That's basically philosophy and a couple tips on growing, scaling your business with PBNs. And none of these are right or wrong. Mix and match is a great way to do it. But I wanted to go through some of that because people are always asking, who are the vendors? Where do I get PBN links? How do I keep them safe? How do I scale with this? There's a lot to it. So again, I'm a fan of letting the professionals build the PBNs that specialize in that, because they have that systemized. I do checks on it to make sure it's healthy, and then we're good to go. But I don't like to get into the nitty-gritty myself. And otherwise, if you don't even want to host the PBNs and whatnot, you can go through these 2 guys down here. But that's it, guys. 20-minute video for you guys. Don't forget, Jay-Z endorses, as well as you guys should go ziplining in Haiti. That looks incredible. So that's it for this guy for this time. And I know you guys are waiting on this one. I'm going to do some long hour editing tonight, but a really exclusive interview with Mr. Matt Diggity in the SEO Vault here in San Diego is coming out soon. Stay tuned for that one, and we'll talk to you guys all soon.